Okay, hey guys, I just got back home. It was a super long day. It is 5:40 right now. We got there at 6:30, an 11-hour day. Pretty exhausting, but I guess, so this is how vlogs will be, I guess, because we can't record in the hospital. So I broke down today into 4, 5 categories. Let's see how it works. The first thing I wanted to talk about is what I brought to orientation, because that was a question within my class itself, so I figure you guys might have that question as well. I brought an iPad. That's all I needed. And honestly, didn't really need it. No one was really taking notes. Nothing was really new to me personally, because remember, I was a student at this hospital. I've used Epic before, so nothing was exactly very new to me. Also, ahead of time, our chief resident sent this intern guide. I think that ambulance is going to come down the street. Alright, it's gone. The chief resident ahead of time sent out this intern survival guide, and a lot of the information they covered in person was in that guide, so there really wasn't much to take notes on. So honestly, you can just bring yourself and your ID. For my orientation, I guess is how it was. The next thing I want to talk about is what we did. What in particular that I liked that we did was when we shadowed a senior. The third year that we shadowed was actually a third year that I know. Like, I was a student and I met him when I was a student, and I know he's a great guy, really great teacher, and he was in the admitting team, which is where I'll be starting. I'll be talking about my schedule later. So while we were there, he was finishing up one admission, and he received 2 admissions while we were there. So the resident below him presented the patient. They had previously seen the patient, presented it to him. He went to go see the patient, do a physical exam, talk to the patient, let them know everything that was going on, and then went back to write his notes so the patient could be admitted from the emergency room to the floors. He was asking questions while we were down there. It wasn't pimping. It didn't feel like pimping. It felt like just a discussion, a conversation about the patient, which was awesome. He's a really good teacher. Another part that I really liked is when we took the time to recognize and respect the physicians and the first responders that passed away due to COVID. There were quite a few doctors that got sick. I think they said it's like 35 or 40% of the staff in the hospital got sick with COVID. And some people didn't make it, and we took time to recognize that, and I really appreciate that. Like, it really felt like this hospital is a really big family, and they really do care about each other, and it showed by doing that. We reviewed EPIC, which is the EMR that we'll be using. Electronic Medical Record is what that stands for. Honestly, we'll go into more detail about that tomorrow. So like today was like a really brief overview of how to do progress notes, critical lab reports, and like special circumstances notes. It was a very brief overview. I wanted to talk about how I felt during the whole thing. So I want to say I was super anxious, but there's also this sort of calm, and that is, I think, primarily because I've been to the hospital before. Driving there was a piece of cake. Parking, a piece of cake. Which entrance I go to and how to navigate to the lecture hall where we were meeting was fine. So I think that calmed my nerves a little bit because I have the experience. But was there anxiety? What did I write down? Because I wrote down my feelings in the time, you know? And I said that I felt comfortable. It's the hospital, the residents, the chief residents, the program director, we talked to some administrative people. Everybody felt so welcoming. And I don't know, maybe it's just like the first week, so they're being super nice. I don't know. But I gotta say, a lot of the anxiety was kind of gone. Like, the hospitalists came down to talk to us, and they were like, the only thing I don't want from you guys is to lie. Actually, quite a few people said that. And I don't really know how common it is at the hospital, but they just don't like it. For example, if they're like, what did the chest x-ray show? And you're like, it was fine, but you didn't actually look at the chest x-ray. Apparently, like, they super hate that. They would rather you say, hey, I didn't get the time to look at the chest x-ray, rather than you just saying it was a fine chest x-ray. Even though it could be fine, you don't actually know that it is. So, I mean, that's pretty common sense. Don't lie. Sitting in a white coat is different to sitting in a short white coat. Like, it was like flopping around, and my white coat is big for me, so I was like, this is weird. Another thing that surprised me is some of the interns that I'm starting with have already been physicians. Like, in their country of origin or where they're trained, they have been attendings before. And now to go to the United States, you have to take the USMLE and you have to go through residency before you can practice in the United States. So I'll be starting with some people, not everybody, but some people who have quite a lot of experience. Another thing is there's no golden weekends. We will never, ever have a full weekend off, which is really, really sad to realize. Like, you know it's a lot of hours, but I will never, ever, ever have a Saturday and Sunday off. And that makes me sad. That's just what I was able to document and write down in the moment. Like, I was really trying to pay attention for a lot of it, but occasionally I took out my iPad and I was like, this is what I want to say in the vlog. So that's it. I like to keep my videos short. I'm sorry this one is longer. Maybe they'll all be this length. I don't know. You and I have no idea how these vlogs are going to turn out. Let me know what you guys think, though. Leave in the comments, like, was this okay? Do you want something different? Do you guys have any questions? Like, think of things that you are worried about for starting intern year or you're interested about. Let me know.